This, how you guys doing today? This is basically the easiest way you can write. I'm assuming it's gonna be flipped. Where you can. Oh no, you can actually read it pretty good. Okay, so you have Act One, Act Two, Act Three, beginning, middle, and end. Now, I want to tell you how interesting it is that y'all can see how small it is, right? You can see how it's just really small. There ain't really nothing into it. But it's mind blowing how just if you look at the beginning, the middle, the end, and you look at the acts one, two, and three, there's so much that you can put in between that. It's like an endless cycle. And this is one way of how I write. So let's look at Act One, for example. Even though it's Act One, you can have an Act One, Two, and Three inside of a Act One. Do you get what I'm saying? In a Act One, you can have a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? In Act Two, you can have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you can have an Act One, Two, and Three in Act Two, and then Act Three can have a Act One, Act Two, and Act Three, beginning, middle, and end in between. See, it's crazy how small this is, when you look at it on a piece of paper. But the truth is, you can have all of that put into your acts. It's crazy. And I realized this probably about 4 or 5 months ago, maybe. Maybe not that far back. Nah, it was that far back. Where that's how you do it. And if you set it up like that, it actually makes the story way easier for you. Is to look at Act One, right? And I really should bring, when I get more money, you guys, I'm gonna actually buy like a giant whiteboard to actually write all this stuff down for you guys. But for example, Act One, that's the beginning, and the beginning can have a beginning, middle, and an end. And I would say One Piece is probably the best show that does this, and this lets you know how amazing Oda's mind is because I believe he understands this formula to a T and uses it as best as possible. And your Act One can literally be, okay, this is my Act One, it's the beginning of my story, and this beginning can have a beginning, a middle, and an end to get to the Act Two. And you can use this in essays, you can use this in books, you can use this in screenwriting, if you're a screenwriter, and it will help you tremendously to just write down, okay, what is my Act One? What is going to happen in Act One? All right, what at the beginning? What is going to be in Act One? In the middle, what's going to be in Act One? And in the end, what's going to be in Act One? And how does that ending go into the beginning of Act Two? You get what I'm saying? It's very strange, but it's a formula that just works for me personally, and it works extremely well, and it's extremely simple, you know. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. It's the fact that you can just have Act One, Act Two, and Act Three. Because I've realized a lot of people don't break down things deep enough. You know, like for example, a person would be like Act One, Act Two, Act Three. How do I figure this out? Okay, I mean you should have at least a little idea of how you want your stories to go and whatnot. I'm gonna do a video on that too, on creating a story. But yeah, that's just something I kind of want to share with you guys. It doesn't need to be an extremely long video. Hopefully you guys can get some help from this, and if you need me to explain it better, I will. Love you guys. Take care. If you need a friend, you can always hit me up, and I'll send you guys a virtual hug. Peace and blessings. Love you guys. Take care.